They say girls with daddy issues are really good in bed.
You, episode 4, shows why men avoid women with daddy issues. Beck is a disaster. Welcome to Manage Your Highlights Daily, and welcome to the breakdown of episode 4 of the series You. In our previous breakdown video, episode 3, we highlighted why Beck is a low quality woman, and in this episode, they are basically showing us where Beck's reckless behavior is coming from. This is gold, and of course, we're gonna highlight this episode from a red pill perspective. So buckle up. Shout out to the Patreon gang, salute! The original video is gonna be on Patreon because we have to respect the YouTube guidelines. That's why you will get a censored and filtered YouTube friendly version. Certain clips will be frozen or excluded. So if you like what we do and you wanna experience our content to the fullest extent, support us on Patreon. This video contains a lot of spoilers, so you've been warned. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do, because we meant it, we shit.
It's hard for me to see you with them. I keep waiting for you to be you again.
This is me, Guinevere.
No, it's not. You were.
Reckless and out of control. And honey, you were a kid. You didn't see what was going on.
Yes, I did. And you were more than just an addict. I miss you.
Beck clearly has daddy issues, so we will let Stephanie Lynn explain what is meant by daddy issues.
So here is the really important thing with the daddy issue. Number one, that doesn't mean that in order to have a daddy issue that dad had to have pieced out. Dad could have came home every night at 5 o'clock. He could have actually been there. So the daddy issue really has to do with abandonment and a lack of trust. So when you didn't get those two things, you know, the ability to not have been seen by dad, because think about it. Dad, when we typically think of mom and dad, we think of mom being the emotional, the nurturer, the caregiver. Everything's gonna be okay, warm and fuzzy, self-soothing, like all that type of stuff. Dad, and it doesn't have to necessarily be this way, but dad we tend to think of as the protector. He's the one that's going to see us, that's going to honor us, that's going to take care of us, that's going to make sure that no one harms us. So, but dad has to also see us.
The term daddy issues is not a medical term. It's not a mental health condition. Your GP or therapist won't tell you that you have been diagnosed with daddy issues. It's more like attachment issues or attachment disorder. Now in this next clip, we're gonna highlight why dating a woman with daddy issues is a red flag and how you are not supposed to deal with it.
One day when I was 12, I got home from school before my brother and sister. My mom was at work, so I go into the basement to play Mario Brothers, and I find my father unconscious with a needle in his arm. I thought he was dead.
I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
I mean, he survived it. And which, of course, was this amazing thing. So when he disappeared on us because he relapsed, I couldn't believe it. Right then and there, I decided he was dead. Which is why I told you he was, which is totally wrong. I mean, who does that?
Well,
The first deep personal thing I tell you is a total lie.
Well, hang on.
No, I get it if you are horrified and think I'm a total fraud and liar and want nothing to do with me.
After everything you've been through.
Yes, you better
Run! Get to the chopper!
Beck has been traumatized as a kid, and that's why she acts reckless. Her father wasn't there. She has no clue what a man is. This is big. This is profound. Check this out.
If we are female, our relationship with our father is our first male-female relationship. We get to navigate that, see how it works, learn how men are, and maybe how they differ from us, maybe in the things they like or the ways that they communicate. This can affect how we interact with other males in our life going forward, because our father is like the blueprint from which we are drawing our new life plans. If we are male, it's the same. We can look to our father to see what male relationships are like, how men act, what they do, don't do, etc. Our fathers are our first example and experience of being around an adult male. And we can't help but pick up on things, especially when we're young. We assume that the way they act is how all men act, frankly, because we don't know any better, right? And this can obviously lead to a lot of issues, but I just think it's important to understand how our fathers affect us before we try to work to overcome any hang-ups that we might have as a result.
It's a shame that modern women take the role of the father for granted because it's hurting your sons and daughters. You see how selfish these women are. We talked about it yesterday. You have to be mature and responsible as a parent, and you see these 40-plus-year-old women acting like 14-year-olds, proving they are children in adult bodies.
Because I want to point out to you very succinctly and very clearly why it is important for fathers to be at the house. Why it is important not to have children out of wedlock, and especially if you're not going to be involved in your child's life. Don't believe me, listen to the stat. First stat reads, suicide. 62% of youth without a father commit suicide. Runaways. 90% of all homeless and runaway youth don't have a daddy at home. Behavioral disorders. 85% of all children that exhibit behavioral disorders don't have a daddy. High school dropouts. 71% of all high school dropouts don't have a daddy in their life. Juvenile detention rates. 70% of juveniles in state-operated institutions, they ain't got a daddy at home. Substance abuse. 75% of adolescent patients in substance abuse centers don't have a daddy. Last one, aggression. 75% of motivated by displaced anger don't have a daddy. So now that I've read you all the statistics, who in the world, in their right mind, will disagree that fatherlessness is the biggest plague in America when it comes to the home and when it comes to the operational abilities of young children, especially in the Black community?
Do you understand why you need to
Run! Get to the chopper!
Because if you don't, this is gonna happen.
Do you want him dead?
What?
Kind of feels like you and he have some unresolved stuff. Believe me, I'm the king of unresolved family issues. I know what people splitting feels like. I just wonder if, look, he's here. He's alive. Use that as an opportunity to talk to him. Or, you're a writer. Could be helpful to write about him. Cathartic to...
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Do you hear yourself right now? I mean, who the hell are you to tell me that I have daddy issues? You don't even know me.
Beck, hang on.
Just go. Leave me alone. I'm serious.
This is exactly what happens when you deal with a woman that has attachment issues. She will take her problems and insecurities out on you. You're trying to help her and she snaps on you because solving the problem means taking responsibility. This is where the "you cannot handle a strong woman" comes from. Because women expect you to deal with this crap. Look at this quote. Only a strong man can handle a strong woman. A weak man will just say that she has an attitude problem. This quote is bullshit. Why is a man weak for calling a woman out on her attitude? We made a must-watch video called "They Will Always Tell on Themselves, Attitude Problem Explained." In that video, we completely break down what an attitude problem is with different examples so you can understand better. Attitude is about the way you think or feel about something or someone. So So if you think that Beck is doing the right thing by telling Joe to leave after he's trying to help her, if you think this is the right way to interact with your partner in a relationship, especially the way Beck uses her voice to get him out of there, yes, you have an attitude problem. There is nothing strong about the way Beck handled that situation. Maybe her strong voice, but that's it. If this is the way you conduct yourself in a relationship, you're not gonna get far. These women that truly feel that a man has to handle this are smoking crack. They are delusional. Why do you think these men are getting their passports? They want peace of mind because they've been dealing with this jacked up attitude forever. Talking about dudes in their 40s and 50s. They want to live the rest of their lives with some peace of mind. They're not waiting to excel. They're taking action to excel. Don't be a fool like Joe.
I get it. I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
I know.
What in the blue hell are you apologizing for? What happened to you in your past is really messed up, but it's not my fault. And I should not be punished for it. I have every right not to date a dysfunctional woman. I'm not a therapist. I'm not your father. I'm not here to raise you. You have no business looking for a relationship with all that baggage. Now check this out.
I have to apologize about our talk. I was a hostile goose.
A hostile goose?
Yeah, geese are total dicks. But no, seriously, you called me on my shit, and I took it really poorly because, because you were totally right and I didn't want to hear it, and I'm sorry.
Like you said, we barely know each other, and here I was
I really don't think we know each other. I mean, I was angry when I said that, and...
Look, sometimes I could swear I've known you forever, but in the grand scheme of things, not long enough for me to be commenting on your relationship with your father.
You were just trying to help me see that I'm full of shit. And you were sweet. It's funny, I feel like every guy I date they're either messes like my dad was, or they're like my dad is now, trying to be something they think they should. Or they're me, both a mess and a fraud.
You're not a fraud.
So just a mess?
No, not more than anyone.
She is a walking red flag. You can do everything right, say the right things, and still she will find a way to feel offended, feel hurt, start a fight, etc. Women know when a man is nice to them. They know what is right and what is wrong.
Whenever a man wanted to pick up the tab or pull out the chair or open the door or pick me up or take me to dinner or see me during the day or wait longer than the first date to have sex, I was shocked and suspicious of them. Was he a serial killer?
It's not our responsibility to deal with these broken women. Don't try to save her. Women like her cannot be saved. Don't want to be saved. We've shown you how these broken women are scarred for life, with or without therapy. And I want to commend these women for speaking out, because women live to be 81 years old. That's 40, 50 years post-wall. They are not ready. Fellas, this dating market is a train wreck, and it's only getting worse. Women on antidepressants, and loneliness is at an all-time high. We're not even talking about economics. So make sure you're prepared and protect yourself at all times.
Beck, you're a disaster.
Man, that's where we working. This video has officially been highlighted.